The North Central Cardinal football team has high aspirations for 2010, and after a Week 1 thrashing of Cornell College, we have everything you need to know right here on the Red Zone. Welcome to the inaugural edition of the Red Zone. I'm Alex Simmons, joined as always by North Central head coach John Thorne. Coach, it's good to have you back in the studio after a long, almost 9 months away.
That did seem like a long off season, didn't it?
Yeah.
We're really excited about getting back and playing some Cardinal football.
Exactly, and you guys made quite a statement in the opening week, 41-7 over Cornell College. What was the key there, and can you breathe almost a sigh of relief?
Those first games are always tough, you know, because a lot of mistakes happen. And actually, Cornell played a lot better than we thought. They only had 55 players on the roster, and they played very well and got off to a fast start, went ahead of us 7-0. And then the Cardinals answered with 41 unanswered points. The defense really made some great plays.
And that's got to make you feel good. Now, let's go back to last year. Ohio Northern, you guys go on the road, a tough place to play, and not the different story. What's the difference in the two feelings?
Well, Ohio Northern was a ranked team, and we made some mistakes, and we got some very serious injuries really early in the game, and so that was a very discouraging way to start a season. Very long ride back home from Ohio, and so the kids were really determined to not let that happen again. We've got Eau Claire coming up pretty quick. That's a good team out of Wisconsin that we hope to be ready to play a lot better than we did last Saturday.
Exactly, and you talked about the defense, very strong, returning 9 starters, obviously something that was very stout on Saturday. You guys only allowed, I believe it was 31 rushing yards. What was the key to that?
Well, the guys understand the system, and we kept changing some of the things that we were doing. And so Matt Winger hit some people pretty hard and got everybody fired up in a hurry. And so they eventually had to try and throw it a lot more than I'm sure they wanted to. And pretty soon Josh McLeod had 2 pickoffs, and we were off and running.
Exactly, and having Matt Winger back has to be huge for you guys. He went down in the knee injury last season. Does he provide a leader for you guys in the middle of that defense?
Yeah, most of the guys are totally afraid of him. So when he speaks, they listen. And his tackling last Saturday was so totally different than his tackling in years past. So here he is, potentially our best player, and yet he's made as much improvement as anybody else. So it was great to see. He just had some amazing tackles where he put people right flat on their back and looked pretty good.
Wow, something we've come to get used to with Matt Winger. Now, You guys have had a scheme change. I know Rick Ponks is your defensive coordinator now. What's something the average fan's going to notice when you guys line up on defense on Saturdays?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we're going to play a lot of zone coverage. And I think last Saturday, I think we only played 2 snaps, maybe 4 at the most, where we went man-to-man. Last year, we kept going man-to-man an awful lot, and eventually teams knew how often you're going to be in man-to-man, and they designed some really great routes to take advantage of that. So being able to play solid zone defense against the pass is the #1 thing you have to be able to do. So we've worked very, very hard on it, and Coach Ponks and the rest of the defensive coaches they've really done a wonderful job. We're excited about what might happen this year.
Exactly. And you're talking about back in the secondary now. Up front, are we going to see 3 down linemen, 4 down linemen, 5? What are we going to see?
And that's a big difference too, Alex. Good question, because last year we were in a 3-man front almost all the time, and probably had way too many times where we only rushed 3. And this year we'll be in a 4-man front a lot, although this last Saturday we were in our nickel, which is a 3-man front, quite a bit once they couldn't run the ball, and we knew they were going to throw it a lot. So the nice thing about it is there are several different packages. So different players are going to get out there. It's not going to be the same 11 down after down after down, which is hopefully going to keep us a lot fresher, especially for the fourth quarter when you got to beat the really good teams.
And you talk about personnel changes, and switch gears here a little bit. You guys always shuffle people in and out on offense, something that offense has been a key for you guys since you've been here. You always say it's what brings the fans out. It's what they want to see. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people were worried coming in. Aaron Fanthorpe graduates. It was something that we were talking in the offseason. You weren't worried at all. Now, Spencer Stanek came out, had a great day at quarterback. How proud were you of him in his first start as his offense?
Well, in our scrimmage game with Aurora, he completed 21 out of 22 passes, which is a pretty amazing day. And then this last Saturday, his numbers for his very first start were actually higher than Aaron's very first full-time start, and they were higher than Knis's very first start. So if that continues, those two were pretty good quarterbacks. He's got a chance to be really good also. So we thought he could do that. And with Jordan Tassio and Brad Crackle also available, there's going to be some great things that we're going to be able to do. We've just got to get Jordan Tassio healthy.
Exactly. And you guys have a lot of weapons on that offense. How big is it for him that, in a lot of these routes, if he gets the hands of the ball, or the ball in the hands of the playmakers, guys like a lot of your experienced wide receivers, tight ends, even running backs, that he kind of has those guys to lean on? That's huge for him, isn't it?
It really is. I think we've probably got more speed at receiver than we've ever had in all 9 years. And those kids can really make some wonderful plays. We dropped a few balls last Saturday, so we, first game jitters a little bit. We start catching all of those, and the numbers are going to get really big. It was very close to 500 yards of offense, and probably should have scored a few more. We did throw a pick, on our way in one time. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun for the fans, and definitely the defense is going to really be a lot of fun. We're going to get tons of turnovers. We've worked very, very hard on the turnovers. The last several days of camp, we were averaging 6 or 8 interceptions per practice, and that's 2 times, almost 3 times more than what we were averaging in practice the last few years. So this whole idea of understanding how to play your zones and how to break on the ball is starting to make sense to a lot of those guys, and fans kind of like to see those interceptions too. Exactly,
and I know something a lot of coaches like to see, players like to see. You guys got a bye week coming up. Any big plans?
Well, we're still practicing, but we're trying to get the injured guys a little healthier, and hopefully the guys will have some fun this weekend and go watch maybe their high school team play and some of those kind of things, and be really rejuvenated when we start the next 9 weeks in a row of games.
Definitely a time to recharge the batteries. When we come back, we'll be joined by 2 of the stars from the Cardinals' Week 1 shellacking of Cornell College. Stay with us.